Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. I am Con from Con's Corner and I am going to show you some tips to help you out in the early game in Palwolrd. The first tip is whenever you first start out, you'll start at the Hill of Beginnings up here all the way on the mountain, and you will see a tree straight out that way. So if you turn around and go back in the way that you came from, go down these stairs, there is a legendary chest here. Usually, I believe it's always a legendary chest. And the loot is random, so what I get will not be what you get. And you can also pick up a journal entry over here, just on the other side of it. Also, in the same spot where you found that other chest, go over here to the edge, and there is another legendary down there. However, it is kind of hard to get down there. So what I recommend you do is you should be able to fall to this platform. It'll only do a little bit of damage, and then you can hop down again, and you will have access to this one. Now, in order for you to get back up there, you should be able to go up this staircase, walk over here through these two pieces of pillars, hop down here and follow the cliff down, and then whenever you walk over, it should be around here somewhere. There is a little wind thing, and you shouldn't take too much damage from fall damage because it is pretty easy on you in this game. But if you do happen to go down further, there is a little spot down here with a wind gust, and it will launch you up so you can get back up to where you need to be. Also, if you keep following this cliff over here, there actually is, there's that wind gust right there I was talking about. There is another chest just below the second wind, and there is another legendary chest. Also, there is another little gust right here that'll launch you up to get you to this one, and then this one will carry you the rest of the way up. You can also take this last gust, if you want to, all the way to the top of the mountain. Now, if you follow the mountain over here, you'll see this tall, like, tower. You can climb your way up to the top of it, and I'll show you how you can do that even if you have low stamina. So as you climb, there will be these little ridges right here. If you jump and then kind of press forward just enough to where you land on it, you can let your stamina regenerate, and then you can keep climbing. You can also jump climb, which, I mean, you can if you want to. It uses a little bit more stamina. But if you use them ridges to gain stamina back, it should be an easy climb, and you will get a Liftmuck effigy up here. For tip number 2, as you travel through the world, you will find a lot of different pals. Now, you will want to eventually catch 5 of every pal, because you will get an XP bonus. A very easy way for you to actually find out whether or not you've caught 5 of them is either one, you could just capture another and it'll tell you in the bottom right, it'll say 5 out of 5 caught, or their name will pop up, and as you see, there is a golden icon next to their name. That will mean you have caught 5 for the XP bonus. As you can see right here, it says XP bonus, 5 out of 5. Another tip that you can find very helpful is whenever you are inside of your base perimeter, when you get your first base down, you will see there is this little, like, blue outline that shows where you can actually build. Well, while you're inside of this blue outline, you can see it shows your pals in the top right. You can go into your inventory, press R, and it will let you stow items you already have in chests. That way, if you're over encumbered, you don't have to walk all the way to your chest slowly and manually do it. You can just press your inventory key, press R, and then you can click stow if you have any items available to actually stow in the chest you have placed down. As you explore, you will come across higher level pals, and you will want to use different spheres for it. So the blue sphere you start out with, the basic one, is good for levels 1 to 9. The Giga Sphere, which is the green one, is good for 10 to 19. The Giga Yellow one is good for 20 to 29. The Hyper Sphere, which is a yellow, or like a reddish orange, it is good for 30 to 39. Then you have your Ultra, which is a pink color, which is good to 40 to 49. And then last but not least, you have your Legendary, which is like a yellow color, and it is good for level 50 plus. Now, there is one setting that I highly recommend you change under your settings, is whenever you pause, go to Options, Game Settings, Keyboard, and then turn on this single button press for hold interactions. Whenever you do that, it will allow you to, instead of, say you're crafting something, you don't have to continuously hold down your F key. You can actually just press it and forget about it, because it will do it all on its own. So one of the best early mounts that you can get is for air, you will want to get a Nightwing. Now, a Nightwing is basically just a really big bird, and I will show you where you can actually find them. You can come up here to Autumn Rocks, and there is a desolate church here, and you can see them flying around. They're usually between the levels 10 to 12, and they are kind of strong, so whenever you do attack them, be ready for a little bit of a fight early on. I'll also go ahead and show you here on the map where you can also find them. There's quite a few of them right around here in the Autumn Forest, which right here, or hang on, let's see here. Right up here is where you spawn. You just go straight northwest, and you will find the Autumn Forest, and that is where the Nightwing likes to stay. Early on, you may also hear this sound in the background. Well, that right there, my friends, is a lucky pal. Now, these pals are not your average pal. They will be quite a bit stronger and will absolutely destroy you if you're not careful. And I'll see if I can catch this one right here. This guy is pretty strong, and if you anger him, it usually angers the ones around him. So you're not dealing with just one of them. They typically do quite a bit more damage, but if you can capture them, they do offer a lucky bonus, which I will show you what that does. If you catch a lucky pal, it will have a 1-star ascension, and you can see there is a little star up to the left of their icon. Well, as you can see here, Lucky gives, the passive skill Lucky gives attack 15% plus, 15 more defense plus percentage, my bad, and a 20+% work speed. Now back to the topic of mounts. There's quite a few different ground mounts you can do. You have Rush Ore as an early option. These guys can be a bit of a pain to actually capture, as they will attack you typically. Now Dire Howl is considered one of the better early games as well. He's considered actually the best early game ground mount, because he's quite fast and honestly pretty strong. So if you can manage to capture them, they're not actually this big, by the way. He's only this big because he has the lucky attribute and he was a boss. Now on to water mounts. This is actually considered the second best water mount in the entire game, as its speed comes in second place. And I will show you exactly who I'm talking about. I'm sure you probably already know, but he is a pretty good one. That would be Chillet. He is a level 11 boss. And as you can see here, he looks just like a little water dragon. Ironically enough, he's actually not water, he's actually frost. But he is the second fast water mount in the game. Now to find him, right here is where you spawn, the Hill of Beginnings. You just go straight, basically northwest from there. And he is just sitting up here on the hill. So when nighttime rolls around, you may be tempted to actually go to sleep. Don't do it though, because there is a pal that you want to get very early on, at least 4 of them, as they will make capturing other pals so much easier. And that pal is none other than Daydream. This pal, whenever you capture it, you want at least 4. Whenever you have it in your party, you do not have to deploy it. It will always be with you, and its damage in this form will only ever do enough damage to get the enemy down to 1 health. Now, don't get it confused with actually deploying it, because if you do deploy it, it can take damage, and it can kill other pals. However, if it is not deployed, it will always be in your party showing, and can only ever do down to 1 HP of damage. Now keep in mind, these pals can only be found at night or inside of a dungeon, so maybe don't go to sleep just before you get a chance to actually catch the Daydream. Since we're back on the topic of catching more pals, something else that you want to do is whenever you catch 5 pals, you will get what is called an effigy. Now, let me go ahead and show you where and how to use these effigies. One really good spot you can actually use these is that desolate church I mentioned earlier, where you can actually catch the Nightwing. As you explore, you will find these statues of power. Whenever you find them, as you can see, there's actually already one up here behind it. It will say enhance player stats or enhance pals. So if you enhance player stats, as you can see here, you can increase your movement speed and your capture power. Now, you do have to have effigies for this, but the more that you find, the more powerful you will get, and the faster that you can move. Now, there are 2 different types of things here. You have your Lift Monk effigies, which increases your capture power, and then your effigies that you get from capturing 5 pals. That is why you want to get 5 pals as quick as you can, because it will give you an effigy. And you can use them here to improve your movement speed, which actually is pretty useful, especially later on. Also, since I'm already here, you can actually capture humans. Now, I don't recommend this unless you are either 1, crazy like myself, or 2, able to actually take down one of these big guys. Because they are quite powerful. However, there are some weaker ones, like level 11 to 16 merchants. Now, the reason you want to capture them is because you actually can trade with them. And if you don't want to capture them, that is completely up to you. But if you want them to be at your base at all times, you can actually capture humans in order to trade with them, which I did not find out until I actually seen someone do it. So that was pretty incredible to me, because I thought it only worked on pals. So I had to hop over here in my personal world to show you this next tip, and that is you will eventually be able to get a pal condenser. So do not sell the duplicate pals you have, because you can actually use these pal condensers to upgrade any of your pals. They are exchanged at a 4-to-1 ratio. Now let me give you an example. I'm going to use one that's very easy for me to catch, like a dire howl. Let's say I want to upgrade this guy right here. Now I can choose him, and that's the one that we are going to level up. As you can see, it says pals use as essences. It will take 4 of your pals to actually get him to Ascension level 1. And then it doubles for the next Ascension. So as you can see, I click Begin Condensation. And now that one that I had is now a Ascension 1 star. This is how you improve your pals and make them stronger and better. Now, I do recommend you keep as many duplicates as you can. That way, if you eventually get into pal breeding, where you find a very, very good pal with like 4 golden passives, then you want to focus on getting them to Ascension 1, 2, 3, or even 4. Now, early on, you will also want to focus on getting your stamina, health, and weight pretty high. Personally, I would say invest them kind of like you could do like 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, and kind of just alternate between them. Or you could go all in on one of them. I recommend getting weight to at least a 650 or 700 early on, because you will be carrying a lot of items. Now, weight's not the only important one. Stamina is also very, very important. I would argue that you should get this to 200 as fast as you can, because you're going to be doing a lot of running in the early game. Health kind of just comes naturally. You are going to need a lot of health later on, especially in boss fights. Pals will help you out a lot, and so will the shields that you eventually unlock. So if I had to rank them, I would say do stamina first, weight, and then health. As I really haven't ran into much issues with low health as of, like, I'm still pretty early in the game, but I've not even died but like maybe 1 time on this character without even leveling up my health. Now, moving on to our next tip here. Vixies. Vixies are a pretty good early game resource gatherer. If you build a ranch and you place them in there, they will dig up items as you explore. So you can get arrows, stone, palladium, wood, you know, all the other good stuff. And you can even get spheres, which is very important. So definitely consider getting a Vixie place put up, and I'll show you where you can find them right quick. Vixies can be found just over here next to the Autumn Forest. So right up there is the Desolate Church from earlier. And you just go straight towards this tower, and they can be found all along this whole walkway. Now this next tip, I don't even have to go very far to show you this one. Check peaks. Peaks are very important to check the top of. And let me get up there and show you why. This is why you want to check the peaks. You can find eggs. Now the eggs range from basic, you know, your common, all the way up to legendary. These eggs can host a whole bunch of different types of pals in them. Don't be fooled though, as they don't just spawn on peaks. You can also find them like in little nooks and crannies and just basically all over the entire world. but the easiest way to find them is just to check these long spiked peaks, as that is where like 90% of them hide. At least that's where I have found like most of mine. Last but not least, you will need ancient civilization parts. Now, the easiest way to get these are to fight bosses, and I think that I've also found them in dungeons, as well as finding fast travel points. You are going to need these later on, especially whenever you want to build the PAL condenser and the incubator, so you are going to need these if you plan on doing this stuff. But like I said, the easiest way for you to find those is to actually do dungeons, boss fights, and find fast travel points. Now that's all that I have for now, as I still am learning this game and exploring around, trying to get a better idea of how everything works. So I am going to end this here. This is the best tips that I can provide as of right now. I hope they help you, and I hope they help you get into your Palwolrd journey. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and if I'm wrong on anything, please correct me. As I am still somewhat new, so I am learning. If you have any tips of your own, make sure to share them down in the comments. Let's help people out here. But thank you guys for stopping by. I will see y'all in the next one. Take care, and Con out. God bless.